Hello everyone and welcome to the Beauty Matters with me, Lin Hussin. Today we are going to talk about interesting topic for ladies, makeup. And for this show we have a London-based makeup artist joining me. Hello Emily.
Hi.
Thanks for being with me today.
You're welcome. It's nice
You
to be
look
here.
amazing.
Thank you. You too.
So Emily, you joined us to give us tips and hints about right and wrong makeup.
Yeah.
Before that, we will start with how you started with makeup. So you've been telling me a little bit before, you went to uni first to study music,
Yes.
and then you changed to become a makeup artist.
Yes, that's right. So when I first moved to London, I was in an all-girl band, and that's why I came here originally. In the band, I used to do everyone's hair and makeup anyway because I was quite good at it. And then more of my friends and stuff started asking me to do the makeup. So I was like, okay, I must be quite good.
Yeah.
So in my last year at uni, I got really distracted by makeup, YouTube, just fell in love with it. And I decided to pursue it as a career.
Okay.
And yeah, once I started, I was just completely obsessed. I just loved it. Yeah, I think I've been doing makeup for around 3 years now. And it's been a bit of a slow process, but I think it's something you need to dive into. But the past year, I think, has been the most I've like really moved up in my career and really started to like make this a proper full-time thing.
Do you think it's because people are more interested in makeup these days?
Yeah.
So like you mentioned YouTube videos. Now I think every lady go to like learn how to do eyeliner, for example. Or do you think it's because ladies are more interested of makeup these days, or it's just like it's always been there, the interest?
I think it depends. So where I'm from in Liverpool, makeup has been massive for a long time now. Like I'm 28. I can remember being 18.
You don't look 28
Thank
at
you.
all, by the way.
Thank you. Everyone says that. I hope it stays that way. So yeah, like 10 years ago when I turned 18, we all used to go and get our makeup done then. That was like quite a while back. And I think now in London, it's starting to become a lot bigger. I think the past couple of years, it's got bigger. But it's been such a big thing in Liverpool for a while.
Yeah.
Hence why I think there is quite a few successful makeup artists in London that originally are from Liverpool.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've sort of brought a little bit with us. Like, for example, as we were speaking about before, eyebrows, like that was huge in Liverpool. It got called, because people from Liverpool called the Scousers, and they call it the Scouse brow because we've just been obsessed with big eyebrows for so long.
Okay.
And that's starting obviously to become more and more of a thing, like the big bushy eyebrows. Like
Yeah, it's
a look
trendy now.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying to get this look.
Yeah, it's really trendy. One of my friends from Liverpool has her own brand called the Brow Club, and she's brought out this kit called Big and Bushy, and it's amazing, and it's all about like creating the big bushy look, like brushing them off. So yeah, it's a really big thing now. So I think obviously being from Liverpool, I've always sort of had an interest in makeup where it's such a big thing there. And now coming over here, it's like it's been amazing to see it grow even more, like in London. And yeah, like on YouTube, there's a lot of London-based like makeup artists like that I follow and that I love and that I've learned from. So it's a good place to be for makeup.
I think it's a helpful way of learning makeup,
Yes.
like watching videos, and that's what we are trying to do here today with you, Emily. So you will be giving us also like tips about how to put eyeliners, eyeshadows. Everyone loves highlighters and contouring, so also we'll be talking, and also we can show the audience how to apply them. I know that you are also a hairstylist.
Yes.
So how did you get into hairstyling?
I did hair first. So when I left school, when I was around 16, I went to college, did a hair course. But after school, I sort of was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. I've been one of them people who's changed career a few times and finally found something I love and I've stuck to. But I continue to do like blow dries and styling and stuff, and I've sort of just stuck to styling rather than like colour and cut and stuff. But I do love styling. It's something I'm quite good at.
I can see your hair. You look amazing.
Do the waves. Yeah, and it's handy to be able to do both. Like a lot of my clients come to me for hair and makeup because it's easier for them to come to one place rather than have to go here and there, which helps. And it's something I really enjoy doing as well.
And where do you see, that's a question I ask every guest, where do you see yourself later? Like if we said 5 years from now, like what's the big aim?
I would love to be a top celebrity makeup artist. Like
talking about celebrity now, you worked with celebrities before. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so I'm quite lucky that I work in Loughton in Essex, and we are very familiar with a lot of Only Way is Essex girls. They come to our salon quite a lot, so I have quite a few like clients from the Only Way is Essex. I've had clients from Love Island, like Geordie Shore. I've had a couple of clients from like Celebrity Big Brother, things like that. Quite a lot of reality TV stars, so I'm quite lucky to be in the area that I am because everyone lives there for these programs. It's really good. So yeah, I get to do quite a few people. I've recently just finished doing makeup for Celebs Go Dating. I was doing a couple of girls from there, so yeah, I'm getting more into.
So you are close into your dream.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, so that's the dream, to work with more celebrities.
Yes, yeah, and try and get, you know, maybe like move into more musicians and actresses and things like that. That would be like a really big dream.
We wish you all the best, Emily.
Thank you.
So we will be focusing about eyes today. So what do you think is the trends now? Is it like the eye look? Is it like smoky eyes?
I'd say it depends on the makeup artist. I think everybody has a makeup artist whose style they love. I prefer more natural, blown out smoky eyes, like quite smudgy looking type of eyes, where there's other makeup artists that are very like sharp and sleek and cut crease and things like that. It depends on the person. I do think the more natural type of makeup is taken on, like very Australian style. That's coming in now. Probably the most requested eye look that I get is a brown smoky eye.
Yeah, I think you are wearing.
Yes.
Yeah, you
similar.
are.
I've got
today.
like orangey browny type one today. That is what I get all the time, or maybe like a blush type of pink look. But I hardly ever do black smoky eyes now. I think people are going for the softer looks now rather than the more heavy dramatic, which is
I agree.
is
it's
nice.
better.
Yeah, it is definitely.
When a client comes to you and show you like a photo or whatever, I'll explain to you what they want. Do you get involved to say like, that doesn't suit your eyes, that doesn't suit your skin tone, or do you just leave them for their choices?
To be honest, most of the time people already know what they like on themselves, so it's quite good. Sometimes people will ask me like, do you think I'd suit a winged liner? And I'll be like, maybe not for your eye shape. If someone has like quite heavy hooded eyes, it doesn't really work. Or people will say to me like, oh, what colour will bring my eyes out the most? And then I'll say, you know, depending on the colour of their eyes, what's the best colour to make them stand out more? Things like that I'll suggest. But it is quite good because a lot of my clients already will be like, you know, I don't like this, it makes me feel like I've got small eyes. I don't like this, it just doesn't suit my skin tone. So quite a lot of my clients already know what they want. And where obviously people find me mainly through Instagram, they know my type of look already. So they'll sort of go from my pictures on my page and be like, can I have this that you've done? Can I have that you've done? Or like they'll find someone whose work is similar to mine. Yeah. It's quite rare that I'll find something that is not the style that I do. But if someone does come to me with a very extreme cut crease thing, like type of makeup, that it's
give
just
them
not me,
advice.
I would sort of say, this is not something that I would normally do.
Okay.
And would you prefer this or would you prefer that?
So you will give them choices.
Yeah, because you've got to stick to your style, I think.
Yeah.
I think trying to be able to copy off every single type of makeup artist is just too hard. You've got to have your own look that you like to do.
Yeah.
And people who like that will come to you, which is like, it's good because you can stick to your thing then.
Yeah, you're leaving your fingerprint on
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
In my opinion, I think lashes can be a big problem because
Yes.
you see ladies like can't recognize how heavy their eyelashes are. So do you also get involved in like choosing their eyelashes?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you get
this is, I agree with you. I'm very thinky. I have a lot of lash brands send me lashes, and I'll either write to them and say my client base prefer a more natural lash, or if they send me heavy ones, unfortunately I just won't use them because it's just, I just don't like them.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
not. Some people suit them. If someone has really big eyes, they can carry them off more. But I just think it overtakes your face sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of my clients, again, do prefer more natural lashes. I tend to go through my natural ones so much,
Yeah.
and the heavier ones just sit in the
Leave
cupboard
them,
and
yeah.
don't get used. But yeah, if someone asks me for a really heavy lash and they have more delicate, like smaller set eyes, I would say, I think this style would suit you a bit more, and I'll sort of balance them on the eye and let's show them the difference. And a lot of the time they'll be like, okay, yeah, that does look better. Because a heavy lash on someone with smaller eyes will just make the eyes smaller and close them off. So it's not really that flattering.
Yeah, and also the look of it, it just doesn't look
Yeah,
right.
it's a bit like, oh,
Yeah.
that was heavy.
Yeah, so shall we move on to start with the makeup now?
Yes.
And now we are going to do a smoky eyes.
Yes.
What colors are you choosing for me?
I'm going to choose more of the browner tones. It'll go nice with what you've got on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Thank
it'll
you.
suit your eyes as well. Okay, so shall we start?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a little bit of translucent powder. I'm using a Laura Mercier translucent powder, and this is just to close for me. This is just to set your eyes. Take away any oils from the top of the lid. You already have foundation or concealer on. Yeah. So for anybody at home, you always want to use an eye primer, or a concealer is fine. And then you just want to set it with either a translucent powder or a more paler colour in your eyeshadow palette. So then I'm going to go in with the transition colour. The perfect tone of a transition colour is like a bronzer type of tone. So even you can just use a bronzer, even something like that. I'm going to go in with this one. And the transition colour is basically just to take the main colour into, like, transition back into your skin without you having like a sharp line. It creates that blend.
Okay.
So I have a brush with my colour on, and I always keep the fluffy brush that I applied the translucent powder with to hand to blend anything out.
Okay.
So just going to apply this into the crease. And I'll do just slow circular motions.
Yeah, circular motion. When I apply it, it's like
a windscreen
like a
wiper.
windscreen.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. But the circle helps like kick the product up, so it
I'm definitely learning.
blends. Yeah. Okay. I always tap off the excess. You'll notice me smacking myself with the brush. So I'm just going to go in here. Again, small circular motions.
So you don't put it in all the eye. I'm feeling it just like,
just in a crease. And then I'm just going to blend over it. And I always kick out slightly here, just to give it a more of a winged out type of a look.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because it suits your eye shape also. You have like really lovely eye shape,
Thank
like
you.
nice and up and wide. So then I'm just going to go back in with a slightly darker tone. And back onto the crease again. And this is going to be more of an everyday wearable look than, you know, you can take this into the night, but rather than it being too heavy, this is more wearable for even like a date night or whatever you're doing. And it's so
brown
easy.
suit every outfit.
Every outfit, every eye. Browns are just perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I ever do. Where I am always doing makeup on other people, I don't really have much time to do my own, so I always just throw browns on because I think this is quick, this is easy.
So what's your basic makeup look? For example, for me, if I'm going like early in the morning and I don't have time, I need to put like mascara, maybe concealer, lipstick, but that's about it.
Yes.
So that's my basic look.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, your eyelashes are insane. They're amazing.
Thank you.
But
I'm trying to get the fluffy look.
Oh, they're gorgeous. Well, I'd say about the same really. My go-to, if I just want to throw something on, not look like I'm dead, but not want to look like I've got loads of makeup on, I'll just put concealer in the more redder, purpler areas, which would be like under your eyes here. I get red around my nose. Just anywhere where you have got a few blemishes, just put a little bit of concealer on. And make sure this finger, like the wedding ring finger, is the softest finger to use, so it blends the best. So if you just tap on with this finger.
Oh, that's another mistake I do. I go like...
Yeah, swipe, tap. We want to tap it into the skin.
Tap. What's the difference?
That works. The swipe, for one, it's not good for aging your skin, especially around your eyes. Any pulling motion is going to pull and stretch your skin. So tapping's a lot more softer and gentler on the skin, and it just helps blend it in a bit more. When you swipe, it sort of takes the product off rather than tapping it in. So that's a good little trick to have.
So just tap.
Yeah, tap, tap, tap. Okay. Then I would probably just use a bronzer in like the high points, so where the sun would naturally hit me. So on the top of my forehead, cheeks, and on my nose, maybe a little bit on my chin. Just makes it look like you're slightly sun-kissed.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit of blusher on that. Depends how I'm feeling. Mascara.
Depends how I'm feeling.
Lip gloss. And I'll brush my eyebrows up with a bit of brow gel.
Yeah.
And
brow
I'm good
gel
to go.
started to be like also important in makeup.
Yeah, it's so important. Because even without having to do anything, it makes them look fuller. Right, so I've gone in with a slightly smaller brush now, and I'm going in with a little bit of a tiny bit of a dark shade, and I'm keeping this really into the crease now. So this will just define the eye socket. And again, just circular motions.
So far we used 3 shades of brown.
Yeah. Yep. So, and they're both... No, I've used 2 shades of brown.
I think it's just...
yes, them too. So I've used this one as the transition, and then the other one, I've put that on first.
So it's a light shade and dark shade.
And a dark shade. But if you apply the same shade but with a smaller brush, it makes it look darker because it's more of a denser
Okay, so it's important to have
different brushes. Yes, so many people come to me and they're like, I have this one brush for everything. And I'm like, ugh.
Okay, I will stay silent on you.
Oh, you one of them?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, it kills me. Like, my friends will come to me and they'll do the makeup in front of me and they're like, I can see you judging. But I'm like, what is this brush? This is not for that. Brushes are so important.
It's not because like I do have lots of brushes. I just don't know how to use them.
You just don't know how to use them. I know that is a lot of like people's issue, but again, YouTube is so good because most of the time the people do it, they'll be like, this is this brush, this is by this person, and it's good to see they are using it for a reason. It's not just because let's show how many brushes I can use.
Okay, so it's not adverse, guys.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. You can use one brush, but then, you know, I'll find if say I was using something like this is really thick and wide. If I wanted to concentrate the colour on one specific part of the eye, this is too big.
Okay.
It's just going to brush it out everywhere, whereas something like this is really precise.
To people. Okay.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't know how to use this.
I use this mainly for under the eyes.
Okay.
It's really good. So I've just done, even this I think looks nice just how it is. So I'll take another shade just into the outer V. I'll explain the outer V now once I find my brush.
I can't see myself, but I'm trusting you.
So for everybody, this is your lid space. This is like more of a brow bone. This is the outer V. This is where we want to have depth. This is where we want the shadow to be a little bit darker. So I'm just tapping a bit of a darker brown onto this outer V.
Tapping again.
Yep, tapping again. And it just creates a little bit more depth. And the tapping helps to blend weirdly.
So it's just putting darker here,
Yeah.
darker colors, okay.
Slightly darker. But it all makes a difference.
What about inside the eye? Like these people want dark
Yeah,
pencils or light,
Yeah.
or
A
is
lot
there a
of-
difference?
yeah, so I think I like black on the waterline.
I like black.
I think it's very sexy, but a lot of people are scared of it. So I think it's preference. Some people, if they think the eyes are too small and it's a self-conscious thing,
Okay, it makes them look
they'll
even
feel like it
smaller.
looks smaller. Where to me, I think it makes them just look more like sexy and sultry. But a lot of people feel like it cuts the eyes off and makes them feel smaller. So if you put
Yeah.
a white on the waterline, it just automatically makes the eyes look bigger, which is good. And then if you want to look more smoky, but you don't want to go for the black, a brown is gorgeous because it still gives that sexy smoky look, but without being really, really harsh.
Okay.
So
The other issue about the pencil, the eye pencil,
Yeah.
it doesn't stay in place, and
Yeah.
it's not only my problem.
Yeah.
Like I think it's every lady problem.
Yes,
Like you
it
can,
drips.
yeah.
this is why I don't use it. So I use this is a gel liner. You can apply gel liner on your waterline. It's
And it will
absolutely
stay
fine,
there.
and it will stay. It sort of dries more. Where when you use like a kohl pencil, it like the moisture from your eyes, it melts it, and it starts like you get like
Yeah,
it coming
line.
down like down here or underneath, and it'll sort of drip. Where this will stay, and to make it extra stay, if you put a gel on the waterline and then set it with a black eyeshadow,
Okay.
it will stay even longer.
You know, the other like tips I had from a different makeup artist is to put like loose powder under the eye.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is I've noticed it dries the area, so
Yeah.
it looks dry, and you can see lines even if
Yeah.
you don't have lines.
Yeah, it can crack. So it depends. If you like a more matte finish, then people do something called baking, which is where they leave a lot of loose powder under the eyes. For camera and things like
Yeah.
that, it's actually really, it looks amazing. In real life, it can look a bit like cakey and
Very
full on, but on camera it looks really good. Whereas
Yeah.
the dewy look looks amazing in person, but on camera or pictures you can look a bit sweaty. So
Okay.
it depends. It depends on. I mean, that's just it again. Some people can bake and it just doesn't look right, and it looks.
Yeah, I feel like you
Yeah.
haven't finished your makeup
Yeah,
or something.
it depends. I think on your skin type. So some people have really dry skin. If you put too much translucent powder on, it's just going to crack.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work. And then someone who's maybe really oily, if they go for the really dewy look, they're going to look really shiny. So you need to go with what your skin suits the most.
Yeah.
And that's will probably stay on and last longer. So now I'm just going in like I did on the top with the second colour, the slightly darker. These are all quite light though, aren't they? None of them are really dark. And this like still looks, you've obviously got makeup on, but it's still more natural. It's not like a heavy look.
Yeah, which is the best.
Yeah. Look up again for me. I'm just taking a small brush now and the darker tone, just so I can get it right onto that lash line and smoke it out.
So not only, because I use one color for under the eye.
Yeah.
So it's a good tip here to use like different shades.
Whatever you've done on top, you sort of want to do underneath also. Because it gives it the symmetry, makes it look more dimensional.
Is a thick eyeliner make the eye look smaller?
Yeah, I think it does cut off the eyes a little bit. I prefer like a thinner line. I mean, if you've got a lot of lid space, you can carry off a thicker line, but I think in general it looks nicer if it's just slightly finer.
Yeah, I like the look, the look which is the cat one.
Yeah,
it never worked. It never worked.
Yeah, you've got quite a natural cat eye shape anyway.
Yeah, but like drawing it.
Yeah, it's difficult. It is. I mean, it's still difficult for me. It's something that's like a practice makes perfect type of a thing. Where I'm just going to put a little bit of translucent powder onto here now, just to take away any fallout that we might have had. Another tip, which we haven't done today, but if you're struggling when you do your makeup and you put your eyeshadow on, you find you're getting dark underneath, it's a really good advice to do your eye makeup first.
And then foundation.
Yes, because if anything falls down, you get like black underneath or brown, you can wipe it off and then you can do your face and it's fine. That's how I do my clients.
Yeah.
I don't do that on myself because I'm used to doing my own eyes. Now I can do it afterwards without getting any fallout. But if I was to do a client, I would do eyes first, just to stop anything falling down.
And also, like, if you put your fingers or whatever, you will have marks on the foundation. So it's, I think it's right to do it after.
Like a lot of people do the face first and then they're pulling the eyes down to get the eyeliner and they've got a fingerprint here. It's just like a big mess in the end. Right, so we've done your shadow.
Now, I can't see myself, but I'm a big fan of highlighter.
Yes.
So shall we show how to do like right highlighter?
Yes.
Yeah, what's about highlighter?
So highlighter, you have got to be careful with. I mean, as much as everybody loves it now, it's not your best friend. It isn't. Highlighter is stunning, but if you do have problem areas, it can make them stand out even more.
What do you mean?
So say someone was acne prone and they'd had a breakout. If you're to put highlighter on top of it, it's literally going to sit on top of your like imperfections, on top of any lumps and heighten them even more. So I think if you've had a breakout or something, you want to avoid using too much highlighter on that area.
Yeah.
Because it will just stand out even more. Highlighter is to bring out them things. So you want it on top of your cheekbone to make it look bigger. You want it to stand out more. You want it to, anything you want to be emphasized, you want to put the highlighter there. Like a lot of people put it on the tip of the nose because it makes it appear slimmer. So when you've just got a little dot there, it makes that look like it's the highest point. So things like that, people put it on the top of the Cupid's bow to make the top of the lip look more bigger, plumper. So any area like that under your brow bone to make, you know, your eyes look like the higher, like things like that. That's what it's perfect for.
I think what I can't do, like I cannot, I'm really struggling with is what they are putting on top of the eyebrows. Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, gorgeous. So that's again is like a high point. It's on top of the arch. And when it catches the sun, it looks really nice. It
photo.
It looks gorgeous. Nice. And your skin looks all fresh and plump. So the areas I would put it in, I take a fan brush and just take a little bit of a highlight, and I put it on top of the cheekbone here, literally in this area. I don't take it too far forward, just here. And it looks really nice. It makes the cheekbones pop, and you have great cheekbones anyway.
Thank you.
So we're just gonna emphasize it. And I always say makeup is to enhance, not to hide. You don't want to hide what you look like because you are who you are. And I think it's so many younger girls now are trying to completely disguise who they are with makeup, and it's sad, you know.
That's a good message for ladies, young ladies.
It is, and makeup is, it's not to hide who you are, it's to like, you know, make yourself feel good and like, what's the word? I just said it before. You know, heighten your natural, like, self and the things that you already have going for you, because everyone is beautiful.
You know, when I was preparing for my show, I struggled to arrange with models to come with like naked faces.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think it's a confidence issue.
Yes.
People started to see themselves like, if I'm not wearing enough makeup, so I'm not looking pretty.
Yeah.
So it's important also to just leave yourself as you are.
It's so true. And I get so many, you know, when I'm doing prom and stuff, like 15, 16-year-olds, and they're like, I want completely full coverage. I want you to make my nose look thinner. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And I think, you're a baby and you've got this gorgeous face and you don't need all this. Like, they come to me with no makeup on and think, oh, I'd love to look like that with no makeup on. And they hate themselves and they don't like how they look. And it's sad because you don't realise until you get older.
That's how nice it was.
Yeah,
to
you
yourself.
look back and you think, oh, why was I putting all that makeup on? So I'm just going to put a little bit under here. I'm using a smaller brush now. My stomach. And just in the inner corner there.
That's true.
And that's just to make your eyes look bigger.
Okay.
And then here, gives you a little sparkle. And a little bit underneath the brow also.
So you don't do underneath the full brow, just at the end?
Just here, yeah. So you don't want to here. It just doesn't look right. You're just trying to emphasise your actual brow bone here to make it look like it's, you know, defined, because we all want that amazing bone structure, don't we? You're very lucky to have that. You've got good high brows.
Thank you. I'm excited to see myself now. Contouring.
Yes.
So contouring is to hide, right?
So contouring is to create shadow. So as highlighter sits on top of anything you want to show. The shadow will create like depth. So if you had naturally high cheekbones, where they're up here, you're going to have a natural shadow underneath. If you don't have them, we can create the shadow.
Okay.
So if you put, I've always done it because I haven't got quite wide cheekbones, but I've always loved them. So since I was in school, I didn't even realise what I was doing. It wasn't the greatest, but I've always put dark here because it creates a shadow, makes your cheekbones look as if you've got a wider, more prominent bone. And then you can use it to make things look smaller. So I don't like my forehead, it's quite big. We're talking about self-love thing, but, you know.
We're talking about self-love moving now.
But what I don't like about me. But yeah, so I put it here, and also this is where the sun would naturally go. But I'll like contour here. So with most places people will do contour and under the cheekbones, if you can slim under your jaw, if you put it here, and around the top of your forehead to bring that in.
But depending if you need it or no.
Yes. So I have clients who don't like any on the forehead because they don't need it. Their forehead's already really small.
Yeah.
I have people who love to get the nose contour, people who don't like it. So if you're going to contour your nose, you want to keep it really thin here and just into the bridge. You can make your nose look wider if you're not careful with contouring. If you put it too far out, you're going to create the appearance of a wider bridge.
Okay.
So you want to keep it close together. So contour right down the middle.
I don't know how to do it, so that's why I'm not like expert in this area, but I can see people with contouring look like their face look more shaped.
Yes.
And that's something I like.
Yeah. I like it as well, but again, some people do take it too far. Where it's still completely changing the face.
Or you can see it, it's not blended in.
Yeah, so you can emphasise, so this is just with the powder, but so if I was going to do it, I'd want to keep it right here, so literally under your cheekbone, near where your ear is. You don't want to bring it too far forward, because if you drag it right down, you can actually make your face look longer.
Okay.
So you keep it just under here where the natural shadow would be, and on the other side. And then you don't really need any up here because you've got a lovely little forehead.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'd keep it there. And then sometimes you don't even need to create. So with my nose, instead of doing the 2 lines either side, I literally just bring it down the middle like this. And it just creates like a soft type of a contour rather than you having sharp lines. Because when people try to do it themselves, even makeup artists, it can be a bit obvious sometimes. You can just see stripes. So if you just even just take a soft bronzer and just run it down the centre of your nose, it can create that sort of a definition anyway without you having to sit there trying to get the lines straight. And so that's a bit of an easier way.
I saw your brush is like, for example, I expected the contouring brush to be like
an
more,
angle brush.
angle brush.
I prefer a domed brush because I find the angle brush, although it is good for contouring, it can be a little bit too harsh. So it can really put too much product on. Where a dome brush, it's still got the tip, but you can fluff it out at the same time without creating a harsh line. So it looks more natural. If you have a really, really harsh line underneath, I personally find it just looks false.
Yeah.
Where if you blend something out more, it looks more natural. I find less is more. You can still create this look without having a harsh line, and you're going to look back in a few years' time and be like, why have I got stripes all over my face?
Yeah, I think I noticed ladies who they have like 3 lines or 2 lines, like highlighter, and you can tell it's not like blended well.
So what I like to do as well, which a lot of people don't realise, so they'll do the contouring, then they'll do the brush out, then they'll do the highlight, and it's like they sit on top of each other, like Neapolitan ice cream. It's not a look you want to go for. So if you do the contour, then the highlight, then put the blusher over the 2, the blusher sort of blends it all in together. So I like to do blush last because it creates like, it takes away the sharpness of the highlighter and the contour, and it like blends it all in nicely, and you can never wear too much blusher. I love blush.
Yeah, I love blush.
It's really pretty and like feminine.
It gives life to the face, I think.
Yes, definitely.
What type of blusher you normally go for?
It depends again on the skin tone. On myself, I like a peachy type of colour, but then I find on brunettes they suit quite like pinky tones. If you were a darker skin tone, you can go like a more reddy blush, which looks lovely because it stands out more. Then I think blondes suit like a lighter pink type of colour, so it depends on the person and the preference. But yeah, for me, I like a peachy tone. You've got quite a pinky tone on, haven't you?
Yeah, pinky.
Really suits brunettes. It's like a perfect colour. It looks lovely.
Thank you. And for brows, you just normally brush them for your clients?
Yeah, so I have this product and I love it. This is from the Brow Club that I was talking earlier. So this is just a clear brow gel. And I would literally just brush up the hairs like this. And it creates a nice fluffy look.
So for people who they have gaps, so they can fill it maybe and then brush it?
So I like to use a powder. I have this one. It's an Anastasia Beverly Hills one.
Powder is better than a pencil then?
I think all are good. I think it's just you'll find what's easiest for you. So you can have some products where you'll take a little bit and you can create brow strokes, like hair-like strokes, they're good. I just find the powder's a little bit softer. Pencil can be a little bit harsh. It can create like, you know, the very block type of eyebrows, where powder's a little bit softer, so you don't really need much because you've got nice, but if you can just fluff it through,
I think
use
it's
the tiniest
an
bit.
advice I personally want you to give to people. Don't have the box look from
it's not,
because it doesn't look nice, and it's difficult to persuade people that it's not looking nice.
And it's not natural, and as much as some people don't like natural, but I think even if you do prefer, you know, a fuller look, keep your eyebrows more fluffy, and it just stops people from thinking, you know, you've got a face full of makeup. the box look is it's gone.
Yeah, don't do box look.
Yeah, it's over.
Thanks a lot, Emily, for being with me.
You're
It was a
welcome.
pleasure. And I just wanted to give your final word to the show. And thank you, Emily, for being with me. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for the tips and hints and advices.
You're very welcome.
And hopefully we will see Emily in future shows. And stay tuned with Beauty Matters with me, Lin Hussin.